Hello everyone, my name is Nelson. Don't be surprised if you see me in my wedding suit. Yes, today is my wedding. Why did I decide to get married so early? Before I answer your question, I want you to show you my bride. Ta-da! This is her name is Lena. She's my English teacher. I know, you have more questions, but to answer them, I have to tell you a little story, and I have to start from the beginning. You ready? Then listen and watch till the end. Let's start with the fact that I'm not really the best student at school. I have a ton of discipline problems and I can't do everything about. I have had energy boiling inside me since birth, and you know what? I tend to pour it out, because if I keep it inside, I can explode. By the way, that's what happened the last time I bombed my aunt's wedding cake. Came out not on purpose. I just suddenly felt like licking it a little. It was a 3-story, huge cake. So big and beautiful. And here I was, just taken out to the center of the hall for cutting for newlyweds. And the moment the camera went to the cake, and it was with the spotlights with lights and the faces of 250 guests, and I stood there licking the cream. Can you imagine my parents' reaction? For my aunts, for her, the blow was the hardest because she had waited 41 years for a wedding. Oh, just kidding. It's just that 41 she finally got married and it was such a big deal. For me, boring is boring. Anyway, yeah, I licked a little bit of the cake and abruptly stood up, wiped my mouth, and tripped over the table leg. And then, it was like in slow motion. The cake falls to the floor, the host with the microphones trying to catch it but failing. I looked at my aunt's face and she was like, no. And then I looked at my mom and she was also like, no. And bam, the cake lay at my feet, silence all around. My aunt fainted. My uncle didn't catch her and she fell right into the cake as well with her. And then there was a circus. Well, at least it got fun. Everyone was running around fussing. It was absolutely hilarious. My parents took me out to talk. I called my aunt's wedding the most boring event ever. My father demanded me apologize, but I said that I didn't do anything about the old woman. After all, it wasn't my fault that she got married so late and ordered the biggest cake in the world for the reason, just so that as many people as possible would notice the wedding. My statement was considered more cynical, and my dad said that my punishment was not yet complete. A couple of days later, he called me into his office and said that he had figured out a way to beat the crap out of my head. "You've got to get married, son," he said. What? Are you kidding me, Dad? That's really the worst punishment ever. Please, I beg you. Please, can we do without it? I told him. But my father continued. "Oh no, it's not a punishment, son. It's to make you grow up, to make you smart, to make you more responsible. I know it's hard for you to accept that right now, but trust me, it's good for you." He finished. I honestly tried to talk him over, but then he added the unexpected. He said that he'd found me the right person for the job. "It's Miss Lena Blythe, your English teacher," Dad said, and I was like, "What? No, Dad, no, she's old." She was about 35 years old at the time, meaning that she wasn't much younger than my aunt. I couldn't believe my dad would screw up my life so easy. I tried to resist, talked to Mom, staged a strike, even cried, but no one listened to me. Then my father said that he would disinherit my entire inheritance if I refused, and I had to do it. And so my wedding day came. We looked like idiots. There weren't many guests, just my close friends, a couple of relatives, and that was it. It wasn't how I imagined my life. Miss Blythe and I never went out, never kissed or even held hands, and I had just agreed that I would live a life with her. I would never touch her or never hurt her, or each of us would have to live our own lives. She agreed. After the ceremony, we went home. My father gave me a small apartment to celebrate the marriage. I didn't work, so Lena provided for the two of us by herself. My father didn't give me any more money since I was already a married man. Lena and I slept in separate rooms, and she would come home after work, lie down on the couch, tired. I was hungry, and I wanted her to make me some food because I didn't know how to cook. One day I yelled at her that she was a worthless wife, like she didn't cook for her husband, and that she got mad. She yelled that I was a worthless husband who didn't work. I didn't do anything at all. I mean, she wasn't wrong. To be honest, it hit me in my ego. Suddenly, I felt like a gigolo. At that point, I decided to share responsibilities with her. She worked and I took over the housework. I never once cleaned, much less cooked meals, but thanks to the internet, I was learning. To tell you the truth, it was very difficult for me, especially to get over myself. But I got through it. I did the cleaning, cooked dinner, washed dishes. Lena was grateful. She even praised me. More than 2 months passed like that, and we were more or less hit off. The whole school wasn't laughing at us anymore. Or maybe I stopped paying attention to the rumors. I don't know exactly. Everything was so unimportant. Then Thanksgiving holiday was coming up. Lena suggested that we got to visit my parents. I baked a turkey myself and Lena made a pie and we went. Mom and Dad were very excited for me and very surprised by the turkey, and when they found out who made it, Mom collapsed in her chair and could hardly breathe. We had such a great time with my parents that night. I talked to my dad as an equal, asking questions about work, taking an interest in his business. Lena raised a toast to me. She said that thanks to me, she began to kind of rest at home. Not as before, coming from work, stood at the stove. She has said that I was very capable and hoped that I was indeed true. Anyway, after dinner, we drove home. At the apartment, Lena opened the wine and raised her glass to me again. "You're a very good boy. You'll make a great husband in the future. I think any girl will be happy to be with you," she said. I didn't really understand her words and asked, are we gonna get a divorce? She suddenly bit her lip, and I knew something was wrong. "Lena, what happened?" I asked her. The very next day, I went to my father's house. I was annoyed, angry, and confused. "Dad, what's the meaning of all of this? Are you making a joke out of me?" I asked. He knew right away what I meant, and he didn't hide it. "Son, I know I may have overreacted somewhere, but I meant well. Look at you now, the man you've become," he said. I rebelled. "Are you serious? What kind of a man? You married me to my teacher. The whole school laughed at us. Dad, I was washing dishes and cooking meals," I shouted at him. "And you grew up. You've become a real man. You think I ever helped your mother?" "Yes, I did. Marriage has taught me that caring for one another, helping and understanding, that's what makes a man. Not expensive cars and whatever money you have in your pocket." And I fell silent. There was an undeniable truth to what he said. Everything now I know, what I do, I would have never known in any other situation. After a couple of hours, I redirected all my anger into a rational thought and spoke to my father normally. He called the move an adult move too. Anyway, my sham marriage fell apart, but Lena and I remained good friends. I never thought I would be upset by a fake marriage divorce, but I was really sad. Somehow, I got used to her all this time, and when I got home, I didn't know where to put myself. So the first thing I started doing at home was helping my mom with cooking and cleaning. My mom was shocked and actually delighted. And I even managed to teach her a couple of recipes from the internet. What's going on in me now, my head, I'm glad I'm becoming that way. My dad made the right choice, which went a long way. What would you have done if you were in me? In fact, would you live with someone older than yourself, and do you think that it doesn't really matter what age you are for love? Give us your opinions in the comments below. If you liked the video, then please leave a like and comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe.